Yes, Brandon, hello.
Hello, Rupert. Thank you for your teaching, for this space. It's been very beautiful for me. Uh, in my experience, and in my experience of others' experience, in the absence of resistance, uh, eventually some form of inspiration, passion, curiosity, excitement arises. And it seems to be a shared experience. And when I trace back, well, I know I didn't select from a menu, I want this inspiration to arise. It just arises. And when I say, okay, the source of the arising is consciousness or awareness, it seems like there's a go between. And I know you've referenced the Holy Trinity before, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. It seems like there is, I'm saying a part of me as a concession to the separate self identity, but that there's a part of me that it is in almost like a pure expression of knowing that has a type of uh, taste or direction or momentum that feels like inspiration and passion. And the way that I've related to that is my higher self, soul, spirit, and that part of me seems like it's localized kind of expression of consciousness that is its nature feels like it's, yes, it's being, yes, it's awareness, yes, it's infinitely present, but it also feels like a gravity towards passion and excitement and inspiration. So I was wondering your thoughts on that.
So, our essential nature of pure consciousness is the source of all intelligence, creativity. And when consciousness localizes itself in the form of each of our minds, that creativity expresses itself in a way that is consistent with and an expression of the particular characteristics of each of our minds. So let's say, for instance, that you're a musician. This inherent, innate creativity of pure consciousness will express itself as musical inspiration. You probably won't find yourself having making inspired discoveries about quantum physics, but you will find yourself being inspired musically or whatever it is you're particularly interested in. Why? Because your particular mind has been fashioned, conditioned, and as a result, it has a unique shape. So when the impersonal flow of intelligence and creativity flows through your particular mind, it will be conditioned by your mind and express itself in a way that is consistent with those limitations. So you will come up with some inspired song or piece of music. The inspiration was impersonal. It came from an impersonal source, the source of intelligence and creativity, but it was shaped by the unique and personal features of your own mind, and therefore it came out in a unique form that only you could have created it.
So I see. It's like I've flipped that understanding to say the source of the uniqueness of it came from consciousness or spirit. And what I'm hearing you say is that the impersonal source is filtered in a way, and the filtering is creating the unique expression.
Yes, so you could say that the impersonal intelligence and creativity, which is the nature of infinite consciousness, is filtered through the particularities of your mind. Now, your mind has been conditioned in a unique way. There's no other mind like it. So when this impersonal intelligence and creativity flows through your unique mind, it will be shaped by your mind. and it will come out of your mind as an expression that is unique. That expression could not have come out of anybody else's mind. The composer Scriabin was stopped once on the streets of Paris. Somebody said to him, are you the famous Scriabin? And he said, yes, somebody had to be. So, the ideas that there had to be a receptacle for the creativity of consciousness, and it was my mind. My mind was required to shape that creativity in a particular form at a particular moment in history. His mind was the only mind that this particular music could have come through. So the source of creativity and intelligence is always impersonal, but the form in which it is expressed is always unique and individual.
So does that imply that the if I just had to create a model or a diagram, it would be all that is impersonal consciousness, housing infinite creativity, localizing itself directly as and through a finite mind? Or is there, it's almost like a pit stop along the way as a soul or a spark of that infinite consciousness as a soul that is in a sense a representation or expression of that consciousness, and then and physical reality, obviously it's not physical. And I love the quote, I think it was Bashar who said, we've never left spirit, you can never leave spirit. So I'm just wanting to discern, am I translating, like you said, in impersonal consciousness in a personalized way from the level of...
Yes. You, Brandon, your mind is one of innumerable contractions or localizations of infinite consciousness within infinite consciousness, through whose faculties of thinking and perceiving, infinite consciousness expresses itself in a unique way. So think of, if you want a simple analogy, think of the sun's light, and think of innumerable stained glass windows. Every stained glass window, a slightly different pattern, a slightly different size, a slightly different shape, slightly different combination of colors and patterns. That the same light flows through each window, and what comes out the other side is unique to that window. The sun's light is conditioned by the window, and the pattern that emerges will be a unique expression of the one sunlight, but conditioned by a particular window. Your mind is like a window that has its own particular form, shape, conditioning, qualities, and the one light of consciousness flows through it and comes out or is expressed uniquely according to the shape or the conditioning of your mind. So right. What can we do as a person, as an artist, as a creative person? Two things. One, cultivate this openness to the impersonal light of consciousness, which is the nature of our mind. And two, shape one's own mind in a way that enables the light of consciousness to flow through it. So what that means, that's different. The opening to the light of consciousness is the same experience for each of us, but the way we condition or shape our minds, that's different. A musician will do it one way, a doctor will do it another way, everyone does it. An artist will do it another way, a writer will do it another way. Everyone does that slightly differently, and depending on the how you use your mind, what you practice, what you study, what you explore, what you do, all these things will shape your mind. And that will determine what it is that flows through your mind and expresses itself in the world. So 2 things to do. 1, open yourself more and more deeply to the impersonal light of awareness that is the essence of your mind, but then form your mind. Be careful with what you do with your mind so that you shape your mind, structure your mind in a way that when the light of consciousness flows through it, it expresses, its expression is an expression of the qualities that are inherent in that consciousness, in that light of consciousness.
Right.